One of the things we're going to talk about in this class is mistakes that are often made in giving pitches.
How long have you got?
Pull a couple out of the memory banks for us.
So mistakes in pitches. Yeah, so once an investor starts to state their position, backpedaling and changing your story to suit them. That's a big one I've made, and then they can just tell you're just making it, like, you're not making it up as you go along, but you're kind of starting to look desperate.
Yeah.
And so I've done that a few times. It's a little bit like dealing with, if you've ever traveled overseas and you go through Customs and Border Patrol, and they always say, like with anything government, only answer the question they're asking. Don't go off into story, because you then, basically the amount of people, I've seen them in pictures as well, the amount of people who basically dig a hole and then they dig their way out, right? And they never get out, basically. They haven't got a ladder deep enough.
Yeah.
But, and so obviously just being clear on that. And this comes back to what we said before, the whole making sure your story is straight and clear. And do you know what? There's going to be investors that go, hey, this is really awesome. It's not our deal.
Yeah.
Now, the majority of investors I've found are really encouraging. They're good people, they're busy. They don't want to be, sort of stuffed around, so to speak.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they will encourage you in your endeavors. If they like it, they'll encourage you. They'll say, hey, maybe think about this. But we work more in the mining sector. We're not particularly interested in agriculture.
Right.
And so that's probably why we're not going to do this.
And if they're interested in entrepreneurial worlds and ecosystems, they generally like to help other people that are interested.
100%.
It's kind of an interesting, positive kind of environment. It may not be a good fit, but it won't be a bad experience necessarily.
Absolutely, and it depends on the kind of investors you're talking to. I mean, you've got your institutional. So if you start to get into your PEGs and your I call them vulture capitalists, venture capitalists, it's so they have a very different agenda to, say, like an angel investor who has maybe more of a philanthropic motive in mind, not necessarily giving it away, but they want to do some good, or they want to contribute something, or they want to invest in the community sector, invest in the entrepreneurship sector. So those sorts of things, and all the way through to one of the things we're finding now, there's a lot of money tied up in family offices, and they are actually really great to talk to. They're very friendly. They're kind of a small version of a PEG, I guess, because it's usually a group of families or one family that just says, okay, we've got so many $1 million we want to invest in early growth startups. So yeah,
very interesting.
So
Keeps changing, doesn't it?
It really does. Yeah. Well, I mean, as the one we've seen change in the last 5-10 years is crowdfunding. Which is huge now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome. Jonathan, thank you. We sure appreciate your feedback
Pleasure.
on
I
this.
hope there's something useful in there.
There is, and we want people to come down to our pitch parties. And
yeah, we do. Four
promote it with
times a year in Hendersonville, 4 times a year in Asheville. So,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.